Okay, this is how to not suck at auto attackers, aka a comprehensive guide to stutter stepping. So the first thing you will want to know about your auto attacker is their stats. You can bring this up in game with the target unit info panel. The default hotkey is C, but you can just left click. Can be dragged around with left click also, but I just keep mine here, and we can see it lists, among other stats, basic attack damage, attacks per second, and our attack range. The one you should know off the top of your head for your basic attack hero is probably your attack range. A couple of them have lower, so Cassia and Tychus have a 4.5. Hanzo and Raynor have a 6.5 as their base. And then there's also obviously some talents such as Greymane's Quicksilver Bullets that can modify this attack range. And then the other important stat, you don't have to know it off the top of your head, but it is good to reference, possibly in combat, your attack speed. So characters like Greymane and Zul'jin, their attack speed might change during combat. So Greymane has 1.0 attacks per second, but he could go up to 1.5 or even 1.9 with Eagerwolf active during combat. So yeah, that changes things for your stutter stepping rhythm. Same deal with Zul'jin, for example. So before we get into how to stutter step, let's make sure your hotkeys are set properly. Go to Hotkeys, Quick Cast Setting, and page over till you see Basic Attack. This should be set to Quick Cast. You can use whatever global setting you want for abilities, but for the A hotkey by default, you really want this to be set to On. It's going to make things a lot easier. The other options are just introducing extra delay. So on release means when you release the A key, it's going to execute auto attack, and I think you can also set it to click, so you have to confirm the auto attack with left click. Not great. Over here we can see just basic keybinds, so I'm using the default A for auto attack and S for stop. I really recommend using a keyboard button for auto attack and a mouse button, default right click, for your smart move. Keeping these separate makes it a lot easier to execute on a well-timed auto attack because, I mean, just imagine playing a drum with one hand versus two. Auto attacking is going to happen between 1.5 to 2 inputs a second with both hands. So yeah, much easier to do if you have two hands to work with there. So where does auto attacking get its name? Well, if I stand in my attack range near a unit, I will automatically attack them. And we can actually use this to do a stutter step. Not recommended, but if we just right click to move on tempo, we will execute a stutter step. But this kind of breaks as soon as we move too close, where like I'm attacking, but I'm kind of moving unnecessarily, so I'm losing DPS, or if I click too far, where I walk too far and then I attack. So I am not attacking with my full DPS potential, and that's kind of the whole point of being an auto attacker, is you need to attack with your full DPS potential. So let's fix this. Okay. Another not recommended method of stutter stepping is you can use the S hotkey, because the S hotkey causes you to stand still. And remember, if we stand still in our attack range, we'll attack. So we can actually execute a pretty passable stutter step here if we attack on tempo using alternating S and right click. The only problem with this is once we leave our attack range, we start standing still for no reason. It's not really great, looks very awkward, and well, it's just kind of a waste of inputs. So let's use what everyone uses. Let's use A. So A will make this little red arrow instead of a green arrow. And if I alternate it, just like I was alternating with S and right click, I will see the same effect. I will attack the closest unit to me by default, which is the same as S. The biggest advantage with A is it opens up a new technique called max ranging. So if I am out of combat, or out of my attack range, and I press A, I will move. But most importantly, I will move until a unit is attackable. So if I press A here, I will move. Even though I'm clicking here, I will move into my max attack range, and then I will attack the dummy. So max ranging is this technique where you step out of your actual attack range in the cooldown of the auto attack, and then you step back in once the next auto attack is available. So that looks something like this. So that's a cool technique to use, especially if you are sieging a structure like this one, and there's enemies behind it that are attempting to attack you. That extra range can be the difference between someone landing their skill shot or missing it. And it also allows you a lot of flexibility because not only can you move out of your attack range, but you can also move side to side. So let's check that out. So now I'm moving in like this flowered shaped arc. Very, very interesting, very difficult to aim at. And I can move in pretty much any direction very fluidly. And I still maintain full DPS, which again is the goal of stutter stepping. Now, the challenge with using A as your primary, or the default behavior of A as your primary thing is, well, check this out. When I click A on the ground instead of on a unit, I'm going to attack the closest thing to me. So imagine this is a tank, and this is a damage dealer. Well, if I am not perfect, and I want to hit the damage dealer, if I don't click on the unit itself, I click on the ground sometimes with my A key, yeah, I might bop the tank, which is, again, a waste of DPS. It's pretty embarrassing, too. It's like, what are you doing, hitting the tank? So let's see if we can fix this. Well, it's pretty simple. We go to Options, and enable attack move target point, and save. So this will cause it so that our, as it describes, our A key will auto-attack the closest target to our cursor instead of the closest target to our hero. And for obvious reasons, this will mean we don't have to be as precise with our cursor, and we can still hit what we want to hit and move where we want to move, which amazing. So it's enabled now, and if I am clicking close enough to our DPS hero instead of the tank, I'm going to hit them. But I can choose to hit the tank too if I want, and I can even click on the ground next to me in that lazy arc, and I can even continue to max range. I can max range by clicking on the unit and away, and I can also max range with the on the ground technique. So it is just kind of the best of everything that you can possibly ask for, and even when you increase your attack range and your move speed and your attack speed, it just is the best way to be playing auto attacker. It's the most consistent, and that's where you get this buttery smooth movement where it's like, damn, he just moves in every direction that he wants to, and he's just so good. Where, like, it's not that hard, you just have to know how to do it. And you'll never miss the target you intend to hit, as long as you click about on them. And at that point, the only challenge is keeping your attack speed tempo correct. So, like if you're playing Zul'jin or Greymane or whatever, you're losing stacks on Gambit, Vala, like that's the only thing you have to pay attention to, because otherwise the muscle memory for actually doing the auto attack is simple and it does not change. You can hit what you want and move where you want. So yeah, that is how not to suck.